everyone, welcome to Mystic Soul Tarot. My name is Jess, and if you've never seen any of my videos, I have been reading tarot for I would say about 10 years now, and it was kind of on and off, but recently I've been really delving back into my spirituality, and it's bringing about some wonderful changes in my life. So I've just been really wanting to share, messages that spirit guides, that past loved ones, and just general guidance from the universe. I've been really wanting to share it with anybody that can find and watch my videos. So today I wanted to make a video about, once you get a new deck, how to cleanse it and infuse it with your own energy. So sometimes we can purchase decks, and even though they may be brand new to us or just brand new period, it can have like residual energy, that because the cards are very highly sensitive, so they do accumulate a lot of energy. So you want to make sure that you cleanse it once you receive it, because that will just allow you to interpret the messages better and to overall just receive more in-depth and more accurate readings. So I recently just purchased this Modern Witch Tarot deck from online, and so I thought I would make this video because a lot of people might not know how to do this, and it's actually very easy. So I actually want to get into cleansing first. So why is cleansing important? Like I said, you might receive a deck that, even though if it's brand new, you bought it at a new age shop, a bookstore, whatever the case may be, even if the deck is brand new, it still has residual energy. And this energy can, kind of affect the outcome of your, readings. So if you're doing a reading, or you've been using a deck of cards for a while, and you notice that it's been giving you kind of confusing readings lately, it's not that the deck and your energy aren't vibing anymore. It's probably most likely that the deck needs to be cleansed. And there's a lot of ways to do this. I'm going to be sharing a few of my favorites today. But if none of these kind of resonate with you, or you feel like none of the cleansing options that I gave you will work for you, please do check online, because there are a lot more ways to cleanse your deck. Or maybe you might even come up with one that's very unique to you and unique to the deck you're using. So I want to start off by saying that your left hand receives energy and your right hand gives energy. So when I shuffle my cards, even though I'm right-handed, I shuffle using my left hand, and I'll put one card over the other using my left hand. Considering I am right-handed, this took me a while to get used to. Obviously, a lot of people just read with their right hand if they're right-handed, or shuffle with their right hand if they're right-handed, and it does not make their messages any less true. It does not make their interpretations of the cards any less true or anything like that. But this is just how I learned. So, and now I can't shuffle with my right hand. It feels very weird to shuffle cards with my right hand. In fact, even when we play like regular card games with a regular playing card deck, I always shuffle with my left hand because I'm just so used to it now. So the reason I'm talking about the left hand versus the right hand is because this first method to cleansing your deck, you're gonna want to hold it in your left hand, because this is the hand tied to the subconscious. This is the hand that receives energy, and your right hand gives energy. So you're just gonna hold it in your left hand. You could take several deep breaths. And once you feel calm and centered, go ahead and tap on the cards. And and that right there will go ahead and clear the cards of their energy. I know it seems very simple, but it is a very effective method. Another option that you have in terms of cleansing your tarot cards is you can actually fan them out and then go ahead and sprinkle some water drops on it. Just make sure that you get at least a little water on each card, and that will go ahead and cleanse your deck as well. What you do want to note about doing it that way is that if your cards are kind of like a thick cardstock but not shiny, like these cards, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but they have like a shine to them, so they can take water. Some cards, you know, they might not have this shiny coat on them, so they may not take water as well. So you want to be careful not to accidentally, you know, damage your tarot cards. So just be very careful with that. If in case your deck is one of those decks that aren't shiny or would be damaged if you used water, or maybe you even made your own deck, you know, and you don't want to use water on it, that's completely understandable. You can actually sprinkle salt, and you just want to go ahead, sprinkle salt over the back of the cards, maybe go ahead and fan them out the other way and do it on that side as well, and that's going to have the same effect as the water, as the tap method, and that's just going to make sure that your cards are clear of any previous energy. Alright, so other two options are you can actually leave your deck on a windowsill. You can leave it in the sunlight or you can leave it in the moonlight. You want to be careful with leaving it in the sunlight, however, because as we all know, the sun can fade images and colors. So if you're going to do that, I would not recommend leaving it for more than a day at the most. If you're going to put it in the moonlight, obviously you want to leave it for the duration of the night. And the moonlight will work just as well as the sun, and it won't damage your cards. So I wanted to give you guys a lot of options here, depending on, you know, how you want to take care of your deck. Alright, so another option that you have for cleansing your cards is to put clear quartz on them. And you just want to leave it there, I would say, for at least a day. You just want the crystal to kind of absorb all of the residual energy that was left in this card deck. So once you're done with that, you're also going to want to cleanse your crystal. You can do that by putting water or salt on it. You want to make sure to look up the best way to cleanse your crystal, because certain crystals can't touch water. You know, they actually maybe even dangerous if you're putting them near water. So just make sure to do some research. I'm sure there's tons and tons of videos on YouTube on how to cleanse crystals, so you just want to make sure to cleanse the crystal, because the crystal is absorbing all that residual energy from your deck. Alright, so another option is to use sage to cleanse your deck. I wish I had some sage with me. We actually have it packed up, ready to use whenever we actually go ahead and move. But you're going to want to take the sage, and I'm going to pretend this stick of selenite is the sage. So you're going to want to light the sage and then just, you know, hold it under the deck. Make sure it's kind of touching all of the sides, and you're going to let the smoke like really go through, you know, and just kind of surround the deck. And once you feel like the deck is completely cleansed, then you're, you know, good to go ahead with the next step. Alright, and last but not least, the last cleansing tip I'm going to give you guys is to take a candle, and I'm hoping this one does not go out on me because it was looking a little dim there for a second. So you're going to take a candle, it could be any candle, and you're just going to want to kind of let the warmth and the light touch the cards. You're going to want to move them over, making sure to get all the sides. Obviously be very careful with this step. You do not want to accidentally knock the candle over. You do not want to accidentally burn your tarot cards. That would be very counterproductive, and it would always be very, very sad to lose a beautiful tarot deck. Yeah, and so those are my tips for cleansing your tarot deck. If you find that none of these really resonate with you, then please go ahead and check online. There are so many other ways to do it. These are just some of the easiest, cheapest. You know, you don't really need any other expensive tools or anything like that. You might even be able to put them on a selenite plate. You know, just experiment and see what works best for you. Okay, so once your cards are completely cleansed and ready to fuse with your energy, these are some tips for how to kind of get the cards to flow better with you and feel more connected. Instead of building that relationship over time, because that's going to happen anyway, this way you'll kind of be able to dive right into the cards, and the connection will be that much stronger because of it. So when I get a new tarot deck, and let's say I've already cleansed it, what I like to do to make sure all the cards are, you know, very mixed up well, because if you're someone that when they're shuffling and a card flies out and you put it back in the deck, if your cards aren't mixed up well, you could get like a 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords, or 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, 5 of Cups type situation. So, you know, obviously sometimes that will be kind of accurate, I guess, but for the most part it's not going to give you a very accurate reading. You might get 1 or 2 accurate cards kind of surrounded by a confusing message, and that could be because the cards are not mixed up well. And instead of shuffling it by putting one card over the other like this, that won't really mix up the cards too much unless you do it a lot. So what I recommend is to separate your cards into piles. I usually do about 5 piles. I'm very partial to odd numbers when it comes to spirituality. I like doing things in 3s, 5s, 7s, 11s, you know, things like that. But you can do however many you want, and then I just go ahead and put cards in random piles. And then I do that until there's no more cards left in my hand. And once I'm done with that, I kind of pick up the card, you know, piles in a random order. And then that's when I'll go ahead and shuffle the cards one over the other. And that's going to guarantee that your pile is all mixed up and ready to go. So let's say you already cleansed your cards, you already mixed them up, they're, you know, ready to go. So to fuse the cards with your energy, this is a very simple exercise, and I actually do this before each reading just to feel very grounded and very connected, and to, you know, kind of fuse the card's energy with mine right before a reading. But right after you cleanse it, this very first kind of like energy exercise that you're going to do with them is very important. So what I like to do is hold the cards in my hands, both hands. I want to make sure both hands are touching them. Take a few deep breaths again. And once you feel very grounded and very centered and calm, you're going to go ahead and just, assuming your eyes are already closed, you're going to imagine a glowing golden light coming from the heavens down, 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 down until it touches your head. And then you're going to imagine it swirling all around you, flowing through you. You're going to imagine this golden light just filling every cell of your body. And you're going to feel it coursing through your arms, through your veins, and then coming out of each fingertip and infusing the cards with this loving, warm, golden energy. And if you want to imagine another color, sometimes I do purple because purple is my favorite color, and I like to think that my aura has some purple in it. So whatever color makes you happy, whatever color you feel is you, you know, go ahead and do that. So you're just going to want to fill the cards up with your light and your, you know, wonderful, wonderful energy. Really feel like the cards are alive in your hands, so to speak. Like they're almost like an extension of yourself and your psyche and your intuition. So I also sometimes picture this white glowing energy around myself and the cards, kind of like protection and a barrier to block out negativity, block out anxiety, any fears that I have. And that will also help, you know, especially if you do this before each reading, it's going to make sure that the cards aren't influenced by any kind of negativity lurking in the air, whether, you know, you intend to have that energy around you or not. All right, so once I've done all of that, let's see. Another thing that I also do to kind of get the cards used to me and get myself used to the cards is I'll put them in a velvet pouch, or you can wrap them in an altar cloth. You can just put them in any sort of fabric that's going to be kind to the cards. You want to be very kind to these cards because they are going to be your friend and your tool in connecting with your spirit guides and receiving these messages and guidance from them. So I would put them under my pillow and sleep with them for about 3 nights under your pillow. And you guys, you'll be surprised as to how much easier it is to work with them after doing that. Now, I know, you know, a tarot card deck is very thick. If you have like an oracle deck, like for example, I just got this Romance Angel Oracle deck, you know, it's a lot thinner than this tarot deck and most tarot decks. So once you get a new oracle deck, you know, this is probably a little bit easier to do with an oracle deck, but you can still do it with a tarot deck. Maybe it doesn't even have to be directly under your head. If you just want to put it to like the side of the pillow or just anywhere near where you sleep, maybe look at them right before bed, touch them, you know, really let the energy flow with them. And you might even dream about them. You might even dream about, you know, certain messages, or if you pull a card right before bed, you know, you might actually dream about it and how it's affecting and influencing your life. So I just feel like it's a very, very good way to get the cards used to you a lot quicker, so that you have like an even stronger connection with them and can read them even easier. All right. So another tip I have for fusing the cards with your energy and getting used to working with them is to pull a card a day. And I'm sure you've probably heard this before. A lot of people kind of swear by this. And I recently just started doing it myself. I'm not sure why I didn't do it before, because it is actually very insightful. So just pull a card each day. Really try to meditate on it. If it doesn't resonate with you at the start of the day, you never know, it might resonate with you at the end of the day, or, you know, after a few days you might think back and be like, hey, you know, now that I think about it, that message makes a lot of sense. So pulling a card a day is going to get you more used to working with the deck, is going to help you learn the card meanings better if you're not too you know, well versed with them. And it's also going to give you a lot of insight on your day, so I highly recommend that. Another thing I also recommend in order to get used to the cards and to help even infuse them with your energy even more is when I get a new tarot deck, I love to just sit there and go through each single card. So I'll just go through each card, really take my time with each of them, notice as much detail as I can, and really try to get the overall message from the card. Now, if you know the card meanings, obviously your brain is going to automatically think, oh, it's the death card, it's change, it's transformation. But you're also going to want to kind of push past the traditional tarot card meanings and just try to intuitively read the cards. So what are you getting from, you know, this particular card? What is this particular card evoking in you? What feeling is it evoking in you? You know, how does it make you feel? How do you feel about the colors? What does the images and what do the details, and especially in the background, say to you? So this will help you really intuitively read the cards. And another thing that I like to do when I'm doing this is I'll go ahead and if I notice something, let's see, if I notice something that kind of like catches my attention and it's something that is not traditionally like in the Rider-Waite tarot deck, which this deck is based off of, if I notice something that I've never really seen before or something that really catches my attention, like for example in this deck, let me see if I can quickly find that card. I'm looking specifically for the Moon card because when I was looking through this deck the other day, it really caught my attention, and hopefully I can find it soon. Watch it be like the second or third to last card. Okay, here we go. So this deck, the Moon card, it really caught my attention because there's like this kind of like shadow being right here kind of lurking out of the water, and I've never really typically seen that in the Moon cards, you know, Moon cards that are based on traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck. So when I notice something like that that catches my attention, something that I want to know a little bit more about, I'll put that card to the side. So let's say I already went through all of these, or I'm still going through the deck. Whatever card catches my attention, I'll put to the side. And then once I'm done going through all of them, I'll go back to those cards that I put to the side and I'll really focus on it and see what I can kind of intuitively pick up, what the card images represent to me. And if there's like nothing really that pops out to me about it, you know, like for example, let's say this this card, to give you an example, to me this kind of meant like hidden fears, hidden emotions, uncertainty. So I'll go ahead and really think about what it means to me in regards to that certain detail that popped out at me. And then I'll go ahead and look in the booklet that came with the tarot deck and see what the artist intended, and then I'll see kind of like if it matches up to my, you know, my interpretation or not. If it doesn't, I would still highly recommend to go with your interpretation, but it's just very interesting to see the artist's point of view and what the artist meant by that. So yeah, I kind of give extra attention to the cards that really catch my attention like that. Alright, so my final tip for you guys is after you do readings, whether you're doing readings for yourself or readings for friends, you know, strangers, whoever it may be, I would just recommend leaving a crystal on your deck. And what that's going to do is that's going to cleanse the energy, because like I said earlier, your cards are going to pick up this residual energy, and eventually you don't have to do this after each reading. I always do, but everybody is different, and if you feel like you don't need to do this that often, then do whatever works for you, especially if you only read tarot cards for yourself or kind of like for the same people every time. But since I do, readings online, since I tend to read for a lot of strangers as well, I always like to cleanse the deck afterwards, especially if it's like a super serious question, something very serious with kind of like a heavier, important energy, that, I don't want that energy kind of lingering. I want the cards to be cleansed from all of that. So I'll just leave a crystal on my cards to cleanse them when they're not in use after a reading. And then after that, once I do go to use them, like I said earlier, I'll go ahead and do that energy exercise while I'll imagine that golden light spiraling down and flowing through myself and to the cards. Alright, my lovely people, well, that is the video. I hope some of these tips helped you. I hope that you can try them out and see if they, help you get more accurate readings, or if they just help you feel more connected to your cards, because that is a wonderful thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. If it helped you, please go ahead and give it a like. Please also consider subscribing to this channel. I'm going to be doing very interesting videos. I really want to do a lot of spiritual videos, but I also am interested in doing art videos, maybe DIY videos, home decor videos, but all kind of like with a spiritual twist on them, if that makes any sense. So yeah, please consider subscribing. It would be an amazing help. And yeah, I hope this video helped you guys, and thank you so much for watching.